What's up, guys? Today we have a bit of a different video for you guys. This is like a little um how do you say it? Like a little update video. Not really an update, but it's just going through all my settings. Um all my settings for you guys. A lot of people ask me what my settings are. For the first thing that you guys, I don't play on a modded controller or a scuff controller. I used to play on tactical, but recently I've switched to bumper jumper. I'm still trying to get used to it, but I feel bumper jumper tactical is the best setting if you're playing on like a base controller, because a lot of the problem with playing on a base controller compared to like a scuff or something like that is you have to take your thumbs off the joysticks to jump and slide and swap weapons and all of that. Bumper jumper tactical, as you guys can see, you can jump while still maintaining your, oh my bad, you can jump and mantle and crouch and prone and slide and all of that, use like the not special but like more advanced movements while still keeping your aim on the target. Now it does take some getting used to, especially if you play on like default or like regular tactical, but once you get like used to it, like I just got used to it. I have to hold my hands on the controller like a weird way. Like I used to just keep my index fingers on the triggers and just worry about my thumb placement, but now I keep my left index on I play on PlayStation, as you guys can see. My left index finger is on the left bumper, which I use to jump and mantle, and I use my middle finger now to aim. Whereas on the right side, I keep my right index finger on the trigger. So I aim with my middle finger and shoot with my right index finger, and I jump with my left index finger. So it does take some getting used to and kind of hold the button in a weird way. It's almost the same as like playing claw. Kind of like if you were playing on default playing claw, you use your index finger for all the buttons and you keep your thumb in like the same general area on the joysticks, so you don't lose that movement while trying to jump and spin and slide and all of that. So I think bumper jumper tactical may be the best setting for that. But let's move on from there. Stick layout, I play on default. Inverted look, I do not invert my look. Now my dead zone, a lot of people's dead zone is different. My sweet spot honestly is 0.07. The default is 0.05. I've seen people go up to 0.1. I think Jeff plays on 0.9, but 0.07 is like the best. It's what I found that works best for me. Now, I emphasize best for me because dead zone is different for a lot of people. If you don't know, dead zone is like if you're sitting still, right? You place your controller down, and if you like tap the right stick, like not to try and move, but just tap it. Dead zone is all the little movement your right stick feels will move when I think it's the lower your dead zone is, or is it higher? I think it's higher. The higher your dead zone is, the more your right stick is gonna move. So, even when you're not touching it, it's gonna like sway around on the screen. So, that's what dead zone is. Mine, the sweet spot for me is 0.07. So, I recommend doing testing with that, like going to a private match and just do some testing for it. But, yeah, that's what worked best for me. My horizontal, I think this is kind of low. I don't know what other people's sensitivity is. Like, I was like PC players, I think they had like, they use higher sensitivity because they be spinning and doing all that crazy shit. But you're playing on a mouse, you have more like room to move. With joystick, I think a lower sensitivity is helpful. I've moved around quite a bit. I've played on 6/6, 5/6. Typically my horizontal sensitivity is one lower than my vertical. I don't know, that's just how I like to play. But the sweet spot I found for me is 3/4. I feel like I can, it keeps me more accurate, and I can still like move around and whatnot. Now this is the ADS sensitivity multiplier. I keep it base for when I'm like low zoom, guns with no optic or and whatnot. But for my high zoom, I move it up to 1.25. That's for like sniping and people who have those like what is it called, like variable zooms and stuff like that. So just to move around a little bit faster to help track people. So that's what I got for that. Aim response curve, I have standard. I've never switched this. Yeah, I've never switched that. I never even like paid attention to what it does. And another thing, bro, always play with controller vibration off. Like, that's just playing with vibration. I used to play with vibration, dude. It feels weird to me now. Like, if every time I shoot somebody, I used to use it to help me like tell when someone was dead, because as soon as you killed them, it would stop vibrating because the hit markers would leave. But now it's just like, I don't know, playing with vibration just feels weird to me now. Aim assist standard. I might switch to precision, but right now I'm playing on standard. Weapon mount, ADS plus melee. Everyone knows about weapon mounting. Weapon mount exit when moved. Yes, I have that enabled. Aim down sight behavior. This is all like basic stuff down here. Like, just hold it. Yeah, everyone holds that. Equipment, you hold. Yeah. Reload, tap to reload. Let me see, what else? Movement, slide. Where's the one with vehicle camera recenter? Oh yeah, I have that. Parachute auto deploy. I'm thinking about turning this off because like there's a glitch in Warzone, right? Where like if you try to mantle something, it'll automatically deploy, which is very weird. So I might turn that off. Brightness, I play on 50 brightness. I don't like, especially I have a BenQ monitor, which is already, like, I have the settings like adjusted to make it look, I turn the contrast up a little bit on my monitor, but BenQ monitors are like generally brighter, like it's easier to see stuff in shadows, so I don't really need to turn my brightness up, and when I do, it makes it really hard to see. Like, it's really hard to see when my brightness on in-game is turned up on this monitor. But if I was playing on a regular like screen or a TV, I'd turn it up to probably like 75 or something. Film grain, turn that all the way down to 0. It makes it easier to see. What else? Motion blur. A lot of people play with motion blur sometimes. Like, I don't know how people play with motion blur. Like, shit's terrible. Shit is terrible. Like, a lot of people play with motion blur. And it makes it impossible to see, like, especially if you're like scanning or zooming over something and like you think someone's there, it'll be blurry, so you won't be able to see. So weapon motion blur I don't think is that bad, but I don't turn it off. But the world motion blur, make sure world motion blur is disabled at all times. I think that's all I wanted to show you guys. I'm gonna show you guys some it's gonna be like a custom game. Me playing on Jumper Bumper. Bumper Jumper Tactical. So I'm gonna skip to that right now so you guys can see what it looks like. Okay guys, so I have just 6 enemy bots. It's just gonna be me. 6 enemy bots on hardened. Nothing spectacular. We're just gonna go in the speedball. I'm not gonna play the full game. I just want you guys to see what it looks like. Play on Bumper Jumper. Okay, so now we are in the game.
Enemy threats in the AO. Weapons hot.
Right now, like I was explaining earlier, I'm still trying to get used to it because sometimes I'll occasionally press X. What I do is, right, like I said earlier, I keep my Jesus fucking Christ. I keep my index finger, my left index on the jump button. And I keep my left middle finger on the index button, so it helps you, like, you can track the, I'm not really trying to die as much, I'm trying to explain. So, as you can see, like, if you move or jump a lot, it doesn't really work. I should have put one bot on, because this is going to be hard to, like, hard to do, but it is what it is. So yeah, this is what I've been trying to get used to. Having the ability to stay aimed in. It's the equivalent, like, it's like a poor man's SCUF controller, because I believe a SCUF you have like 4 buttons on the back, whereas I think you can map those to like all the buttons, like all the X, the Y, the circle, the X, Y, circle, and triangle. But this just makes it so like when you have to jump or slide, right, you can do it while staying aimed in. So I think that's cool. I'm still trying to get accustomed to it. As you guys can see, like slide, jump, all in one clean motion. The purpose of this is to maximize, like, when you're playing Call of Duty, right? Winning a gunfight comes down to like milliseconds, like small ass decisions like that. And if you have to stop and take your finger off the like the trigger, not the trigger, but the analog stick to try and jump or slide or whatnot, it gives the other person an advantage. But I feel like if you can master this, being able to jump and slide and move and all of that, you'll be able to compete more. It'll make you, like, especially once you like get it down packed and you can do it like without messing up the buttons and whatnot, like that. You see that, how clean that was? Turning, spinning, jumping, like it's all, you can just come out, jump, peek lanes easier. Like that. Like normally I would have had to stop, take my finger off the trigger. I mean not the trigger, the right stick, and it'll mess your aim up. This way you can stay on target, which I think is cool. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I don't know if I'm making much sense, but that's just how I think about it. Just taking extra seconds off your having to take your finger off the trigger to adjust your aim and stuff like that, and trying to jump. I think that well, what am I trying to say? I think the minuscule difference in you keeping your fingers on the jump button and the slide button at the same time while still being able to move around like that, I think it makes the game much easier once you can actually get it down packed. If that makes any sense. I probably explained it terribly. But yeah, that's the video. Just a little quick update I wanted to show you guys. Let me know what you guys play on, your settings, and what you think works best. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.